Mana shimmers down through the air, blue light bleeding from a teleportation gate that delivers the party somewhere far colder than home. Boots land on cracked tile, the sound of armored heels announcing arrival. The party has stepped into territory that has not yet been claimed. Below them sprawls the Lake Kingdom, towers stitched into mist. Beautiful from this height, lethal up close, and they all know it. Lucas exhales. The scenery of Lake Kingdom is truly something, he says, while Lily clings tight beside him, eyes blown wide at the size of it. Ash listens without answering. He has seen this skyline before, in a game, on a screen, and he knows what hides under all that beauty. The party walks down from the watchtower and steps onto the wall itself. Polished boots on rough stone, every footfall confident, none of them slow. A system label flares into view. Third area, northern outer wall. 4 silhouettes stand at the threshold, ready to be the only thing in its way. Clear progress reads 0 out of 1. Normal room, boss room, both untouched. Compared to past dungeons, this one is incredibly simple, Ash thinks. Fearful, simple, Ash repeats inside his head. But that means it will be an honest, brutal challenge. No tricks, no hiding, just numbers and pressure. He wonders which monster army they will be tested against this round. The catalog is long and none of the entries are kind to first-timers. Lucas roars first, sword half drawn, the noise meant to give the others 1 extra second before the real fight finds them. Wings spread in the dark above the wall. A monstrous body twists into view, red veins pulsing under stone-gray skin, descending fast. Eight of them. Wings, fangs, glowing red eyes coiled into a circle around the wall, hunting in formation like they have done this before. Ash's pupil sharpens to a pinpoint. He has only ever seen this enemy through a screen. Now its shadow is crawling across his armor. The lead gargoyle screams, a throat full of teeth, all of it pointed straight down at the 4 of them stranded on open stone. The system slams red across his vision. Eliminate the enemy. Wave 1. Stone gargoyles, level 12, 8 bodies, no negotiation. Lucas plants his stance and shoves a gargoyle off his blade. They are going to keep coming, he calls out, voice raw above the wind. Ash roars the order forward. The Tyrant's voice cuts cleaner than steel, and the party tightens around him without needing to be told. Light explodes. Lily's spells hammer the air, soldiers spin into the swarm, and the wall begins to bleed sparks in every direction at once. Game memory floods back. First the wyvern, the flying dragon. A degenerated version, simple-minded, no real magic, but still a dragon, still a problem. Magic resistant, hopelessly stupid. Ash counts every weakness like rosary beads, lining the gargoyles up against numbers he memorized years ago. A gargoyle's mouth opens wide enough to swallow a man, but it has no ranged attack. That single absence is what keeps everyone alive tonight. Soldiers wall the front, mages burn from the back. Magic in front would be wasted, so spellcasters work their staves off until the swarm dies. Lightning detonates across the wall, blue chains splitting the dark. The swarm freezes for one impossible second, then begins to scream apart. A silhouette walks the storm, calm at the eye of it. Jupiter, eye patch on, grins small. The lightning sorceress is back to wreck the wave. She unleashes again. Bolts coil around her staff and lash out, no mercy in any direction. That means Jupiter will be running wild again, Ash thinks. The system flashes wave 2 cleared. Ash blinks at the count. What is this, an EXP event? Lily stares slack-jawed at the storm in human shape. Well, this is why you splurge a little for your mages, Ash thinks, lips curling. Although he definitely dislikes how much Jupiter loves to tease. Demian and Ash advance through the smoke, side by side, the priest's robes brushing the stone, the tyrant's cape weighted with silence. And my left arm is not fully healed either, Demian admits softly, eyes downcast. The healer is already wounded, and the night is still young. Lucas swings anyway. Steel meets stone hide, sparks crash up his blade, the blonde knight refusing to slow even one breath for an aching shoulder. A gargoyle lunges, jaws hot. Lucas sells the angle, lets the maw shut on empty air, and his blade finds the soft place behind its skull. The kill flashes confirmation, helmet cracked, eye blown white. The first major target falls and the system rewards the line with quiet light. EXP plus floods the air. Numbers stack, Ash and Demian standing in the center of it, the priest small and tired beside the silent prince. Anyway, thanks to Jupiter's crucial part, the wall lies still again. Smoke crawls low across rubble where 8 monsters used to scream. Lucas grins back at the eye-patched mercenary. Although she is a bad-tempered granny, Ash thinks privately, she is definitely skilled. Above them another wing beats, a purple shadow against the black sky. The next wave is already drifting in toward the Lake Kingdom skyline. Boots step forward again, polished leather on cracked tile, a single foot striking with the weight of every choice that brought him to this wall. Now this is the boss room, Ash says quietly. 3 lanterns flicker at the gate of a hulking northern door, and the party stops dead beneath it. He turns over his shoulder, voice low, 2 fingers lift in signal. We arrived in front of the northern door. From here forward, no mistakes. Boots step in unison through the threshold. Black leather, gold trim, the small synchronized rhythm of a party that has been bled into a unit. Defeat the boss, the system howls in red. Northern outer wall boss room. Golden gargoyle. Level 18. The throne of monsters waits at the back. Ash lifts a lantern up beside his face. Oh, the golden gargoyle, he murmurs, eyes catching gold off the boss it is meant to be hunting. Up close, gilded teeth shine wet in the lantern light, and it does not look much different from the other boss monsters, skill-wise, he thinks. He clenches a leather glove tight around his fingers, the ritual every commander knows before the kill order goes out. Steady hand, steady line. Everyone ready? Ash shouts, voice clean and bright. The party tightens behind him, weapons up, prepared for the same brutal pattern as before. He comes a giggle behind them. Jupiter, what are you doing? Lily asks, alarmed. The silver-haired witch only smiles wider into the dark. Jupiter throws her head back, mouth wide. The eye-patched mercenary is laughing now, pure and unhinged, like a child finally given permission to bite. The system explodes blue across his vision. Characteristic gold lover has been activated, it announces, dragging Ash's plans straight off the rails. No, wait, Ash shouts, spinning toward her. The silver-haired witch is lit gold from below, a shadow of a smile creeping over her old eye patch. Are you telling me that Gold Lover was activated by you? Ash demands, the calm of the Tyrant cracking for the first time in a long while. Behind him the gargoyle stirs, drawn to gold by something older than hunger. 10 years ago, Jupiter says low, I was a centurion. Do you want me to remain a centurion my entire life? She snarls, raising her staff. The hurt of a forgotten woman pours out of every syllable. Ash's mouth opens wider than the gargoyle's. The tyrant who memorized this game piece by piece is staring at a betrayal nobody coded into the script. Lucas lunges. The blonde knight grabs for Jupiter's robe, trying to anchor the witch before the gold lover trait drags this whole room off the wall. If I worked the inner wall, she hisses, I would have been promoted years ago. The gargoyle's gilded jaws begin to grin in answer to her voice. Ash stops breathing. The strategist who saw every wave coming did not see the woman in his own party reach out for the boss with both hands. Jupiter pulls a fistful of gold from the gargoyle's flank, and the boss room tilts sideways under the weight of a plan no one prepared for. Ash freezes mid-breath, eye narrowed, the gold glare of the northern wall painting his sharp profile silver and red. Lucas grips the hilt, blonde hair flaring, a shockwave already cracking out from his blade as the boss room ignites. Violet light explodes outward in twin blasts, magic detonating against gargoyle plating, the corridor swallowed by purple thunder. Armored gold slams the floor, dust climbing, a stunned voice cracking whoa while the boss tries to right itself. Jupiter hits the stone, mouth open in a wail, the lightning sorceress brought down by something stronger than any spell. Jupiter rockets across the boss room in a dust streak, eye locked on the gleam she cannot ignore for 1 second longer. The golden gargoyle rears, red eyes blazing inside helm shadow, twin fangs flaring as it answers the charging sorceress. The boss swings a clawed arm, sparks bursting, gold helm flashing as the impact rings down the stone corridor. A heavy sword swings sideways across the gold, the blade arm visibly straining, the wielder forcing weight through plated armor. Lily slumps forward, white hair veiling her face, mouth open in a sharp cry as the rest advance past her. Someone screams Jupiter, the cry cracking through the gold haze as Ash kneels behind her trying to hold her down. Ash's mouth twists wide, calm Tyrant cracked open, the cape edge flaring as the chaos forces a real reaction from him. A flashback bleeds in. A child priest whistles by a glowing chest, the bubble warning that reality bends where the game would not. Damien's thought rings inside a thorny bubble. He must find a solution for Granny's gold lover characteristic, fast. Lucas vows across the field, blade raised, blonde hair whipping as he shouts that he will hold the front line. Lightning crackles around Jupiter's single eye, her teeth bared, the gold frenzy battering against whatever is keeping her pinned. Jupiter mutters she is humiliating herself today, jaw tight beneath the eye patch, Ash's red cape dark behind her shoulder. Damien draws back, fingers steady on the string, a brass shell drifting past his glove as the priest takes aim. 3 consecutive shots scream out using clairvoyance through his injured eye, the iris glowing solid gold like a sun. Ash plants his feet at center stage, blades of pure light blooming overhead, the prince finally casting magic himself. Half his MP burned for only 3 swords, Ash thinks, blue eyes lowering as the cost lands harder than expected. Magic threads spiral down his collarbone like a glowing rope, Ash wondering if this is his first time using magic. The blade hovers in place, blue flame trailing the edge, a low let's see slipping out before the strike lands. Jupiter says he always brings something new and interesting, the wry tone half pride and half tired surrender. Ash's eye flashes sharp blue, dark hair whipping, the kanji impact sound already biting the corner of the strike. Light blades rain down from his red cape silhouette, a column of mana spears driving the boss harder into the floor. The golden gargoyle screams, fangs bared, gold plating cracking under each staggered impact as the boss room shakes. Ash grins wide, a real boyish ooze slipping past his teeth, the tyrant cracking briefly into the player beneath. After 5 hits, the magic swords break, shrapnel scattering across the white flare, the spell spent and the room silent. The gargoyle howls it chose the wrong team and is rotting its whole life here, voice splintering through gold light. The boss's second skill fires, damage payback ringing back with a sharp himp as steel skids across battered plating. Gold coins explode outward, shards spinning across the dark void. The long-promised loot rain finally here. The gargoyle's eye dims behind gold storm, a stunned wow forming as the boss concedes that the items are cool. The titanic figure topples slowly, one arm dropping, gold helm tilting forward as the kill is finally confirmed clean. Ash and his line stand small at the corpse's foot, gold tumbling around them, broken plates scattered in the dust. Ash tells Jupiter to put it into the city development funds, her one eye blown wide, mouth open in raw shock. Her cracked face falls, a single tear cutting through, the tyrant's red cape swallowing the foreground in shadow. Metals flashing close on Ash's chest as the prince says he wants her to remember the pride within her first. Ash and Jupiter stand close, his eyes calm, hers turned down, the offering laid bare between sorceress and prince. Jupiter raises a trembling hand into the gold light, fingers shaking, the gesture half thanks and half disbelief. Ash leans in with a sly "oh how much," soft light playing across his sharpened smile, the question loaded with mischief. He and Jupiter break into laughter, the sorceress cackling beside him, the tyrant howling in a way nobody has heard. The system board flashes all clear, northern outer wall confirmed. The third area officially registered as conquered. Beside the husk, Ash kneels in piles of coin, the boss leaving no equipment but an absurd fortune in raw gold. The same set drops 3 times running, the bubble noting how statistically impossible the result has somehow become. A blue panel flares "You must scream" set 2 of 3, full equip inducing fear over a wide range when complete. Jupiter smirks under her eye patch, lightning licking her shoulders, joking she feels like rewarding a wealthy little brat. A pixel base camp spreads out around a lone fire, pots scattered, the largest safe spot the line has seen yet. Tiny figures pass between huts inside the camp, exclamation bubbles popping over silhouettes whispering through the dim alleys. Ash exhales softly, eyes calm, saying that meeting a friendly NPC matters as much as battling in this whole game. A child's silhouette stands before a black pixel skyline, the system noting they descended specifically to meet a friendly NPC. Inside the dim camp, a small child eats by a basin, the line of party adults watching her in quiet. A pale girl with bright green eyes nibbles bread, golden gauntlets too big for her arms, cheeks puffed in startled chewing. Ash smiles softly under the gold light, eyes glassy and tired, saying it could be a ghost for all he cares. After their short rest, the line takes a stairwell down, walls glowing dim, sound effects whipping past the cape. Boots strike cracked tile, the line reaching the ground floor. The long descent finally cashed in for the next stretch. The pale armored girl turns sharply, blonde locks framing wide green alarm, her voice catching on a tight warning. A system tag burns above the arch, Lake Kingdom North Gate, lightning flickering over moonlit spires beyond it. Lucas raises a torch, fire snapping inside the corridor, his armored back leading the line steadily forward into dark. Fearful, Lucas warns the door opens for only one occasion. Ash close behind in red cape, listening with a grim half-smile. Ash's face holds in close, hazel eyes narrowed, mouth parting on a thought he is not yet ready to share. Lily and Damien stand shoulder to shoulder, the priest grim in his collar, the swordswoman listening close beside him. Ash murmurs, "Now let's go in," the spired safe point rising under twin lanterns, the line gathering at the path's mouth. A torch flares against black ruins as Ash leads his party down the main road toward Lake Kingdom's north gate. A huge plaza opens past the spires of the dead capital. The map said this was the Safe Point base camp. Lily flinches first, eyes wide, asking what these things are doing here in their supposed haven. Lucas grips his sword. The blonde knight stays steady at the rear, scanning every shadowed rooftop and alley. Black wings tear the sky, gargoyles wheel above the towers, scattered across every quarter of the silent capital. Even now, fresh ones spawn from different parts of the city, eyes burning red between the broken arches. Fearful, Lily breathes that this place is the gargoyle nest, and only the 5 of them stand between it and the world. Boots strike old stone. Ash crosses the threshold first, red cape sweeping behind him as the team walks in. Distant thuds echo as wooden stalls and silent houses close in around the lone group of travelers. It is here, Ash murmurs. They have finally reached their destination, the marked safe point on the system map. A label flares in the heads-up overlay, declaring this the safe point base camp of Lake Kingdom proper. Lanterns ignite blue along the cobblestones, twin flames burning cold above the empty merchant rows. Lily and Ash advance side by side, every footfall ringing too loud across stone that should be alive with NPC chatter. Hands raised, the party watches a torch flare reignite at the plaza heart. Damien and Jupiter brace beside Ash. Ash exhales slow. He feels better already. After the gargoyles outside, this is finally a base, a sanctuary. Lucas calls across the cold square that he sees no one, no merchants, no guards, no court NPCs. His warning lingers in white space. But, I do not see anyone, the blonde knight repeats into the silence. A small civilian shape stops mid-stride. Even she notes it. The masked knight is right, no one is here. Wooden stock stands silent in rows. In the game, there were always at least 4 or 5 NPCs at this point. Ash hardens. The crazed psycho third prince locks his jaw because this absence is not a good sign at all. Then a crossbow string pulls taut from nowhere, the bolt humming, betrayal sharp as glass in the still air. A wide ring of cloaked silhouettes surrounds the central torch. They stand in perfect siege geometry, blades sheathed but waiting. Lucas raises both hands in shock. Ash whips around. Who are these guys? The third prince hisses through his teeth. A pale mask floats from the dark, sword raised in a slow theatrical bow. Ash has seen that outfit somewhere before. Behind Ash, on the rooftops, a cannon swings down its iron barrel. They even brought a cannon to this trap. His eyes lock open. They are prepared, fully prepared. Ash sees no way out. They surrounded the party perfectly. Damn it, Ash snarls. He set down his guard because the system promised this place was a safe point haven. A line glows on the system overlay declaring no weapon may be held within the safe area, locking every blade. Boots hit stone with finality. A long cape sweeps as the leader of the masked ring strides forward into the lantern light. Ash stands, jaw tight, the lone red cape facing dozens of pale featureless masks under the broken Lake Kingdom skyline. The plaza fills with hooded figures, every single one of them walking calmly into formation around the party. A single masked face rises in the crowd. One painted eye stares out, a slow predator measuring its cornered prey. Ash forces a smile. All teeth, the Tyrant of Crossroad meets the trap with the same cold composure he wore at war. From the dark a top hat emerges, porcelain face split by a wide carved grin, one eye bleeding red beneath the brim. A circle of voice spreads across the plaza. The masked leader praises Ash, calling that voice fit for opera houses. Lily mutters that bullying newbies is a humanity-wide tradition, her braid trembling, embers spitting beside her. 2 faces of Ash flash side by side, mouth wide in shock, processing how casually this stranger toys with him. Ash turns slow inside the ring of glowing masks, every cloaked figure raising their crossbows in patient menace. The masked leader laughs, declaring he hears that opera line often. Ash stands still amid the closing pale mob, his teeth show. The third prince locks eyes with the smiling mask, fury and calculation burning behind one trembling pupil. It is a fun nickname, the masked man purrs, naming himself the last court musician, jester, and magician left in Lake Kingdom. His name is Crown, he announces, top hat tilted, the Broken Kingdom's final flavor NPC stepping out of forgotten code. Ash freezes mid-breath. In the original Empire defense, Crown was barely a footnote, easy to fell with a few swings. Crown stood in the first room of the last dungeon, no fighting skills, his party walking past him before the final boss. He was an easy opponent in the old playthroughs, the sort who fell with just a few stabs of any sword. Yeah, Ash whispers, scanning the cloaked archers. These guys were with Crown too, props that always died with their master. Crown smiles wider beneath the porcelain. But what did they call you? The masked jester asks, voice silken and sharp. Ash and Lucas stiffen. Did they really just hear this NPC say the word player out loud? Like he understood the system? Crown leans into the lantern. Does that mean this man, this so-called Crown, understands the world's hidden system too? A single eye locks. Ash's pupil shrinks. Sweat slides down his temple as the realization rewrites every plan he held. Steel hums. A long curved blade glints, drawn slow and ceremonial, signaling that regardless of any story, the script is done. Crown lifts a gloved hand toward the broken sky, voice promising to uncover the kingdom's deepest secret. Distant towers tremble against the night. The whole capital seems to hold its breath above the trapped circle. His hand rises higher, fingers spread, every cloaked archer bracing in unison around the cornered Empire Defense Party. Crown's masked face bows lower, half hidden, the smile only widening as he savors the cornered moment. Ash bares his teeth. The moment that hand drops, every bolt and blade in this plaza falls on his party at once. Crown's mask glows. This is dangerous, more dangerous than any system warning Ash trained on, beyond the safe point promise. They are completely cornered. The safe area locks every weapon, yet a single shot from Crown will tear through them too. Fearful 12 masked figures circle the party in the Lake Kingdom's safe point, their cloaks heavy with hidden archery. Ash refuses to panic. The Tyrant's eyes narrow as the system waits for a single clean instruction. He needs a command that buys escape, not a duel. The order is simple. Every cloaked archer in the ring turns toward him as if a string just yanked their skulls. Comparison complete. 7 bodies match the criteria, and the system fires the next stage without mercy. The masked archers freeze, mouths open behind porcelain, the trick already half over. Then Crown's grin tears wider, that painted slit pulled into a moonlit blade. Black coat, knee-high boots, a single sharp foot stamped on stone. The court jester is already moving. A blade flashes across the dark silver hair, whipping into the strike. Jupiter parries the first blow with a surge of lightning, her eye patch catching the spark. The lightning sorceress lands like a verdict, ponytail flaring, green eyes calm and amused. "You are doing great, my SR," she breathes, half mocking, half serious, while the gate's circle climbs her arm. Ash twists, cape snapping, eyes red and locked on the closing jester. Fearful Lily's red flame answers, a magician's wave swatted from a hand into the gap between attackers. "We're almost there," someone hisses. "We can retreat barely and prepare the counterattack." Crown only tilts his head, that masked grin widening as the white slit catches the orange firelight. A direct hit slams the floor, fireballs blooming in twin pillars of ash and dust. More powerful than a cannonball, the system whispers as orange and green flames drag the air apart. The two magics collide, Lily's red sun against Crown's poison green halo, and the safe point cracks. To stop that, it's too late. Lucas pivots in front of the prince, blonde hair lashed with wind, blue armor sparking. Spells explode against the gate ring, 4 colors slashing the air at once. Jupiter twists into the blast, silver braid whipping, lightning seizing her ribs. She takes the killing arc on her own back without a sound. Ash sees it in slow time, blue eyes blown wide, the prince's mouth shaping a useless name. "Hurry, hurry," the voice cracks behind the smoke. The teleport menu flares blue in the rubble. 3 destinations listed, the cursor stabbing the Lord's manor. "This way," Lucas grits, dragging Jupiter across the threshold, her one eye half closed. Ash steadies the trio through the gate as the burning safe point falls behind them like a dying screen. They stopped attacking. Ash steps onto a quiet courtyard, Crossroad spires glowing pale in the dusk. Then his teeth clench, the calm cracking before the relief can even land. The system stamp glows in the corner, another new enemy logged, the dungeon levels shifting under his feet. Reality folds, and his thought drifts to the future, to a question that doesn't belong on this side of the screen. Will we have to fight with people too? The masked enemy, the human shape under the cloak. When I gamed, Ash thinks I would obviously kill enemy NPCs without a single second of hesitation. But this isn't a problem of whether it's PvE or PvP. Right now, this is reality. The Tyrant stares down a question Empire Defense never answered for him on the other side of the monitor. In order to survive, in order to clear the stage, is it okay to fight with people? Chapel light pours over Jupiter on the cot, white robes stained at the ribs, a healer kneeling close. Damien's healing mana wraps her ribs, his glasses fogged, lips drawn tight at the corners. Is the treatment over? Ash asks. The room answers in silence first, then in a question of its own, and eats away the caster's body. The priest explains, tracing the curse along Jupiter's pale arm. Jupiter is the dynasty's biggest main force, and now she lies in a critical state on the bed. Who would have known a misfortune like this could happen? Damien murmurs, light shaking around his palms. The other healers have finished their work, and outside the priest finally lets the worry crack his calm. Thank you, Damien, the Tyrant says quietly. You are always reliable here. He should be thankful it wasn't any worse, Ash thinks, walking the cathedral path alone. Lucas and Lily fall in at his shoulder, both unsure whether to speak first. A mysterious enemy force that lives in the dungeon, and a comrade's injury hanging between three people. Ash turns to them with a calm that wasn't there an hour ago. Let me tell you guys this. The aide and the magician straighten, eyes locking on the prince's mouth as it shapes the verdict. Although, killing them would be another problem to think about, the prince admits to himself first. Anyway, as much as they messed with us, the answer is already drawn in cold ink. Crossroads banners snap above the wall, the territory recovered, the next move waiting in the towers. Revenge is best served cold, the Tyrant thinks. Rationally, meticulously, the verdict is already final. With sharpened knives and prepared bullets, we'll wipe them out instantly. The promise lands without volume. Boots strike marble inside the palace. Phew, Ash exhales in his own corridor for the first time tonight. But Lily isn't a wide-range sorcerer like Jupiter. He weighs, walking past a tapestry without slowing. A small white shape lunges from a side hall, robes flailing, glasses spinning, voice already pitching. The third prince swats Damien aside without breaking stride, the priest skidding across polished tile. Kudang tang, the floor catches the priest with a thud that echoes down the corridor. Damien's eyes spiral into spirals, glasses askew, tongue lolling, the healer flat on his back already. Ash never even looks down. The corridor swallows the moment as if Crossroad itself agreed to forget it. His brow flickers, then smooths, the cold calculation already dressed in a Crossroad collar again. The Tyrant walks on, the next move loading quietly behind his stare. Lake Kingdom's debt logged in full. An overturned carriage lies abandoned in the dust. Wheels are broken, weapons scattered, and prisoners gone. The Empire still has no answers for its missing dead. Inside Everblack's palace, Ash demands answers, voice flat and dangerous. The fugitives have not been caught, and silence around him grows heavier with every breath. Reports stream in. They hijacked the carriage. They escaped into terrain no patrol can follow. The crazed psycho third prince has just been handed his next assignment. Ash rounds on a spectacled blonde standing nearby, eyes narrow, voice cutting. Why didn't you prevent this in the first place, you fake director? The aide flinches, hands clutching his head, spirals dancing across his lenses. He stutters that the prince's leadership skill might simply be incompetent. A black glove rises, fingertips lit with cold blue script. The Tyrant is about to bind another soul to his hexagon without ever asking permission. Light floods the round spectacles. The aide's mouth parts in stunned silence as party synergy reaches across the air and quietly claims him. I'll win them over, Ash promises, voice low against a backdrop of light. Behind his words, a system panel hums, ready to add 5 more silhouettes. Even though they're vicious criminals, even though they used to be soldiers of the Empire, the spectacled aide hears what Ash truly wants from them. More importantly, they're good. Their abilities are good, very good. 5 shadowed portraits glow on a blue interface only Ash can read. So, Mr. Incompetent Director, will you help retrieve them? The blonde's shoulders drop. The trap closed before he ever saw it open. Map creation flares to life in his palm. A miniature mountain range blooms in the air, every ridge and valley bright as living memory. Ash leans close, gloved fingers steepled, a thin smile cutting his face. Mr. Incompetent Director is about to learn what loyalty really costs. North of Crossroad rise mountains no farmer has touched, peaks raw and unworked, the kind of country fugitives vanish into without leaving footprints. Below the slopes, Ash's people till stubborn earth plows scraping rock. The land is poor compared to the south, but his territory still holds. Ash throws a tantrum at the foot of the mountain, mouth wide, fists raised. Even tyrants have moments where their bones quietly protest the assignment. Lucas drops to one knee in mirror-polished blonde hair catching the dusk. "Shall I carry you to our destination, Your Highness?" he asks without hesitation. Ash's eyes light up. "Really, can you?" Sparkles flicker around his head while Jupiter folds her arms with the patience of someone supervising a toddler. "Don't give me that look, Junior," Ash mutters at the silver-haired sorceress. Jupiter's silence carries more judgment than any speech ever could. Lucas hoists both nobles, Ash riding piggyback while Jupiter clings to his shoulder like a furious cat. "Yeah, and then Lucas carries me," Ash beams. Jupiter's hair stands on end, green eyes wild. "My back is reserved only for my ancestors," she howls, dignity collapsing for the first time in centuries. A grizzled captain bows beside the road, captain of prisoner escort forces, Everblack Empire crest pinned to his chest. "Forgive us our mistake," he murmurs. The captain drops fully to the ground, forehead pressed to dirt. "It was a joke," he stammers, except his hands tremble far too hard for laughter. "You do have a history of doing crazy things in the capital," Jupiter purrs. "Oh yeah," Ash murmurs back, neither denying it nor especially regretting it. The Ash before was no joke. A pillar of light halos a younger memory, hands raised, and it makes sense now why veterans freeze at his name. "Anyway," Ash redirects, "you're saying our death row buddies escaped to this mountain?" The captain swallows hard, eyes locked on the rugged ridgeline ahead. "Their tracks lead into the peaks. They should have escaped to a more usable place," the captain wonders. "Why go to a place like this? Into nothing?" Virpilar's profile sharpens against the cliffs. "They've been a hassle to deal with for a long time," she says, voice quiet enough to carry weight. A broken cartwheel and an ownerless red cape lie abandoned on cobble. The bandits left signs everywhere, as if they wanted to be found at last. "Because of the bandits," Lucas explains, gauntlet hand resting on his sword. "The Empire kept losing prisoners to ambushes that should never have succeeded." "There are too many things I can't understand," Ash mutters into his glove. "The pieces don't fit any pattern Empire defense ever taught its players." After that they walk 10 more minutes, boots crunching dry pine. A red cape lies discarded again, blood crusted along its edge in a silent invitation. "I see something, Your Highness." Lucas raises a hand at the tree line, eyes locked on a stockade fort barely visible through the leaves. Lucas advances first, blue and white plate flashing through dappled light. "Just take a peek and be careful." His order travels back without sound. The red-haired magician slips between trunks, braids swinging, eyes wide in the gloom. Lily's small frame gives her the angle no knight can reach. Inside the camp, a bald bandit grins through a black beard, spear over shoulder. Around him stand more silhouettes, more spears, and very few survivors. The smell of blood. A red curtain hangs in the air, soaked into wood and stone. The closer they got, the more the wind betrayed the slaughter. "We're breaking in!" Lucas locks eyes with Lily as the gates rise above them. A crude fortress wedged between the rocks of the unmarked peak. A wooden pillar splinters under one strike. The fortress groans, dust spiraling, as Lucas's blade carves a clean path inside the stockade walls. Inside, broken weapons lie among red puddles, arrows snapped at the shaft. The walls drip with the kind of red that takes hours to dry slowly. Boots step into shallow pools, ripples spreading where blood meets blood. The closer Ash walks, the more clearly the camp speaks of recent slaughter. "What the?" Ash presses a glove to his mouth, eyes wide above the leather. He knew bandits. He had not prepared for an entire camp this still. It was a mess inside the building. Bodies sprawled across crates, faces turned away, limbs twisted in directions no living shape ever chooses willingly. Maybe there was an internal conflict, Ash thinks. Lucas calls out from a doorway. "Your Highness, there's a survivor," voice tight against the carnage behind him. Ash kneels beside the bandaged figure, red cape pooling on stone. The man wears farmer's clothes, head wrapped in cloth, blood on his sleeves. Ash watches the man, brown eyes steady, voice softer than anyone in the capital ever heard. The tyrant treats this stranger like he matters. The survivor's lip trembles, dirt and tears streaking his cheeks. He looks up at Ash with the desperate hope of someone who almost died alone. "Yeah, since it was a carriage from the capital," behind the survivor, hooded figures sit in a circle around a campfire that no longer burns. Ash narrows his eyes. The story drifts the wrong direction, edges fitting where they shouldn't, and something underneath begins to feel deeply, deliberately rehearsed. He. A bald bandit emerges behind the survivor, mouth split wide, white eyes bright. The trap inside the trap reveals itself in one heartbeat. A blade slams down. The survivor's head jerks forward as steel punches clean through, blood spraying the wall behind him in a sudden vertical line. The witness drops dead at Ash's boots. Across the silence, the bald killer stands grinning, having silenced the only voice that almost broke ranks. Ash turns, red eyes burning beneath dark hair. "You're the noble prisoner escort squad that came all the way from the capital," he says quietly. "Forgive us, your highness." The bald killer collapses to his knees, forehead almost grazing dirt. "We made such a blatant lie," he stammers in fear. "I forgive accidents but not wrongdoings," Ash answers. "You shouldn't have made such a blatant lie. The Tyrant's mercy has very narrow doorways." "Senior," Ash murmurs. The red-haired magician moves to his side as a hooded figure waits beyond the gates, watching them with patience that feels rehearsed. "Look!" Lily extends an arm, silver hair catching the dim light, finger pointing past the courtyard toward a row of cloaked silhouettes deeper inside. "Welcome, your highness." A green-haired figure tilts her head up, blood streaked across her cheek, smile sharper than any blade in the camp. "That light green hair," Ash whispers. His brown eyes lock on the strands spilling from the hood, and recognition begins to climb up his spine. Green strands fall across a pale face, a brand bruised into the skin near her mouth. Whatever caged her left a mark no robe ever fully hides. "Elves," the word lands like a stone. Hooded figures rise behind her, faces shadowed, pointed ears just visible beneath strands of pale green hair. "Please kill us." A blonde elf lifts her head, voice steady, eyes empty of fear. Whatever waits past death already feels gentler than this lair. "Nonsense. I'm not killing anyone." Ash stands frozen at the threshold, red cape limp behind him, the entire mountain hinging on what he chooses next.